Good evening. Welcome to Tarbell Pavilion on the campus of Swarthmore College for the ECAC South Championship. This is the quarterfinals between the Swarthmore College Garnet at 20-7 and the Lebanon Valley College Dutchman at 16-10. Bob Long, Billy Evers alongside. And Billy, this is an opportunity for Swarthmore coming off a very tough loss in the Centennial Conference Championship game. They came back from a 24-point deficit at half to cut it down to just one, came up a bucket or two short. Now they have an opportunity to compete in the postseason, finish what they started this year, and finish off what's been a historic year for this program.
Yeah, their first postseason appearance in quite some time, and they even have a chance to host later on in the tournament if they win here and some other results go right for them.
Swarthmore at number 2, set for the introductions. It'll be Matt Brennan, Zach Yonda, Shane Leffler, Robbie Walsh, and Sean Thaxter, the starting 5. Brennan now introduced. Brennan averaging 12.1 points a game this season. Yonda introduced, averaging 12.6 points a game, 34% from beyond the three-point line. Shane Leffler averaging just 4.3 on the year, but a wonderful turnaround in the second half and has become a go-to guy from beyond the arc. Robbie Walsh introduced, now number 44, one of the key guys for this team, almost averaging a double-double a game. And then Sean Thaxter, the senior. This team, Billy, started no seniors for the vast majority of the season, but it's been guys like Thaxter and Leffler stepping up in the second half. And due to injuries to Sam Liebrick and then Chris Bourne, you're seeing these seniors step up into the starting lineup. For Lebanon Valley, it will be Sam Light, a sophomore guard at 6 foot out of Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Kyler Burke, senior at 6'3" out of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. Travis Conrad, a 6 foot junior out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Will Bakken-Fuso, a sophomore guard out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey. He will play a 4/5 at only 6'1". And then Zach Morozic, a junior at 5'10" out of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. They will be without the services of leading scorer at 22 points a game, Andy Orr. So missing out on size and scoring as Orr is at 6'7". And we're ready for basketball. Opening tip won by Robbie Walsh. Inside they go to Thaxter. Yonda thought about the three. Inside, double team comes on Walsh. Garnet work it around. Now top of the key, Yonda. 12 to shoot for Shane Leffler. Off for Brennan. 5 to shoot, needs help. Yonda, step inside the three-point line, no good. Rebound down to Travis Conrad, the junior. And Lebanon Valley with their first possession.
Garnet not getting the ball inside enough there. Very oversized against this small Lebanon Valley team.
Conrad now beyond the three-point line. Hands off for Light. Light averaging 18 points a game. Mid-range shot no good from Morozic. All the way up the floor. Yonda to the bucket. He's blocked. And here comes Morozic. Morozic has no numbers. And now he elects to pull it up. Light for 3. It's good. First 3 of the game comes from Lebanon Valley and the sophomore Sam Light.
Yeah, he had Matt Brenton right in his face there and just went right over the top and sunk it. He's a good three-point shooter, is Sam Light, 42% from the field.
Leffler couldn't quite handle it. Had the look from 3. He's been one of the hottest guys on this team, and the foul is called. A push through from Sam Light. The 3 was good from Brennan. But before, it was Leffler getting knocked down on the screen. Leffler finds Walsh, puts it up and scores off the glass. Too early for Robbie Walsh. He had a great Centennial Conference tournament. Really was getting whatever he wanted inside, Billy, and he's had a great campaign in just his sophomore season, but second half of the season he's really stepped up.
And he's going to have the opportunity to do so here, guarded by Bakken-Fuso, who is only 6'1". He's going to have about 7 inches over him.
An offensive foul called against number 30, Will Bakken-Fusco. And that's going to be a tough one there because you see how small they are on this floor. They don't have a guy over 6'3" on the floor, and Bakken-Fusco at 6'1" really does play that 5 position. If he can stay out of foul trouble, that's clearly a key, a premium, but if Swarthmore can see this and get him in foul trouble, it could be a really tough night.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Kyler Burke, the senior, with the unfortunate task of guarding Robbie Walsh. And he's the biggest guy on the court for Lebanon Valley, but still only 6'3", trying to guard the 6'8" Walsh.
And Billy, you said it, a great job by Burke there to get his hands in and get the jump ball. Walsh kind of turned with the elbows and exposed that ball to be grabbed.
Walsh perhaps not used to facing defenders who have their arms down there in the first place.
Now off the screen comes Morozic. Now they fake the handoff. Bakken-Fusco knows good. Rebound down, and here comes Light. Step back. Thought he was hit. Sold it pretty well. No call. 23 to shoot. Bakken-Fusco. Lebanon Valley having trouble getting into the offensive set. Light for 3. He's good, and you can counter with one more coming. Light with a few words for number 22, Shane Leffler. And second time the charm there for Light. Got knocked down again. This one called, and one more at the line.
Something to keep an eye on with the game. Playing fast and loose here early, as Lebanon Valley is a team that's really going to ride their starters. 3 players averaging over 30 minutes a game when the Garnet don't even have 1.
After the missed free throw, Swarthmore finds themselves down 4 at home early. ECAC South quarterfinal. Henry Cosino offers Zach Yonda. Walsh with 1 dribble. 5 to shoot for Yonda, and a bailout call there for the Garnet. Zach Morozic not happy with that call. I don't blame him. Garnet had nothing going there. Ball movement came to a complete standstill. Garnet bailed out with a fresh 30.
The Dutchmen are going to look to Morozic to have a game here today, particularly missing their leading scorer, Andy Orr.
Now Christian Rhodes just into the game. Comes off the screen. Here's Jim Lammers. Hasn't played as much second half of the season. Rhodes for 3 is no good. Lammers came off an early injury and has fought his way all the way back. Light is good from the elbow. Having a day early on. Rhodes all the way down the floor, got fouled, and that'll be the second foul against Will Bakken-Fusco.
Definitely not happy, but it looks like he'll be making an early exit here, keep himself out of foul trouble.
Head coach Brad McAllister, in his 22nd season, was not thrilled with that call at all. And it's a tough one because you did feel, Billy, that Bakken-Fusco was backing up and tried to keep his hands straight up. Rhodes just was the aggressor, drew the contact.
Something Rhodes likes to do when he finds himself in the paint. He likes to go up right into guys.
Rhodes hit the first. Second free throw good from Christian Rhodes. He also played a big part in the Centennial Conference Championship.
And just recently had a birthday.
Now a fall away 3, no good. Perhaps fortunate to even get it that close from Conrad. Now Lammers wide open instead, inside to Cosino. The finish, it went right through the hands of Bakken-Fusco, but still got to Cosino, and now Leffler is called for the foul.
Leffler having trouble early to lack up the dynamic player, Sam Light, the point guard here for the Dutchman.
Leffler's second foul, so he'll come out of the game. Brennan on in his place. And you mentioned it, it's a tough matchup against Sam Light. He has all 8 points here for the Dutchman. Drive to the bucket, can't finish. Bakken-Fusco, and now taken down as Henry Cosino got smacked in the face, holding his draw. That looks like the second against Zach Morozic.
keep an eye on Brennan here, now tasked with defending Sam Light. He's got that sleeve on his ankle. He's been suffering from pain in that shin. Doctors told him potentially just a game away from a stress fracture, but he's pushing through it here.
Now Lammers off for Thaxter. Cosino for 3, back iron no good. Thaxter fouls on his way to get that rebound. Kyler Burke had good position, and it'll go the other way. But already here, Billy, 4 fouls against the duo of Sam Light and Morosic. So Light, for everything he's been able to do offensively, he's going to need to keep himself in this game, period. Morosic picks up the dribble in a tough spot. Off for Burke. Here's Light. Morosic for 3. Well long. Cosino with an uncontested board. Brennan spots up, and it's good from 3. Nobody rebounding, he doesn't care. Knocks it down pure. Now the first lead of the game for Swarthmore. Up and good. The lead is a race. You can count it in 1. Light has 10. The chance to make it 11. Robbie Walsh will check into the game. Light, an 81% free throw shooter this year, is good. He has all 11 for the Dutchman of Lebanon Valley. Now Rhodes up the floor for Swarthmore. Inside they go to Walsh. Great position, just a bit short on the floater. The other way comes Light. Little hop into his step. Ricky Bug. Light for 3, why not? Light is good from the top of the key. He has 14 points.
He is in the zone right now, playing with a ton of confidence, and timeout here just to cool him down.
30-second timeout called by head coach Landry Kosmalski and the Swarthmore Garnet. This kid is absolutely on fire. 3 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the field.
Yeah, they've tried to guard him with Leffler. They've tried with Brennan. They've tried with Rhodes, and he's just looked too athletic for either of those 3. It might be an appropriate task for Zach Yonda, perhaps.
And that's where you miss out on a guy like Sam Liebrick, a guy that all year long has picked up the other team's best player, even if that wasn't off the tip to start the game. When a guy was having success, the neutralizer would be Sam Liebrick, and he's not here tonight, has been fighting injury, and he and Chris Bourne absolutely done for the year. That's been confirmed a while back, but we can only imagine and assume that Liebrick is of the same ilk.
Yeah, they do miss his length on defense. Combined with the quick feet, he can guard just about anyone.
Inside they go to Walsh. Double team comes. And he loses the ball. It should stay, and it will stay. 12 seconds to shoot, 14:26 to play first half, a 14-9 lead for Lebanon Valley. But, Billy, you see they're doing that every single time on Walsh, coming with the double, trying to force him out. Off the screen is Brennan. He can't hit. Lammer's a man-sized rebound. Up top for Rhodes. Good ball fake, and steps into the 2.
That's some dirty work in the paint from Jim Lammers, going up amongst the trees and pulling down that board.
Here's Light. Off for Conrad. Conrad off for Bug. Conrad with the head fake. And a travel is called against Kyler Burke. Got a bit ahead of himself there.
Interesting that we see a lot of bites on shot fakes from beyond the arc here. The Garnet are biting on those shots. And the scouting report on the Dutchman was that they like to shoot the 3. So interesting that they're getting the Garnet up in the air, perhaps knowing that they'll expect that and dribbling past them.
Now Brennan has it. Cosino had a big game as well. Off for Brennan, top of the key, it's good. Matt Brennan from 3. And we're tied at 14 apiece. Travis Conrad off for Bug. Bug goes high, can't hit it on the floater, and it'll go the other way. Henry Cosino had great position. And it's number 42, Andrew Eberhardt, the freshman forward out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania at 6'7". Called for the foul.
Tallest player that the Dutchmen have here today in the absence of Orr. And finally, Walsh has someone to stack up against who he can look eye to eye.
It's Cam Wiley who just checked into the game. Skip pass for Cosino. Great drive. He was blocked on his way there. Walsh can't finish after the rebound. Burke off for Conrad. Right back. Burke can't hit it, and Walsh with the board. Conrad there, a good look, but Burke was way ahead of himself for the second time tonight. And it's Wiley a bit ahead of himself. Both teams need to slow it down, run the offense a bit. Bug lines up the three. Not a good-looking shot. Very ugly off the hands.
Yeah, this game is a track meet, as you said, and you would think the Dutchmen, who are particularly reliant on their starters, would want to slow things down. The Garnet are very deep. They won't mind if they have to roll guys in from the bench.
Skying for that rebound was Yonda off the miss from Wiley. But here comes Light. Steps into a three, bang! Sam Light again. All 17 points for the Dutchman.
He's feeling it, and he has no qualms about letting the crowd know either.
Walsh, great cut, finishes at the bucket. Little slip screen, dove right to the hole, and the find from Brennan. Light goes down, and it was a bit of a body there from Cam Wiley. Good call from the referee, and it'll stay here. Wholesale substitutions for the Garnet, Billy. All 5 guys come off the floor. In their place, Lammers, Leffler, Thaxter, Wilmots, who we'll see for the first time, and then Christian Rhodes.
Well, if it's going to descend into this type of game where everyone's running, wholesale subs could be a huge advantage for the Garnet here.
Good mid-range look from Eberhardt. He's good from there. 3-point lead now. Leffler, top of the key. Off for Rhodes. Couldn't quite get the separation he wanted. Leffler, top of the key three, a bit long. Wilmot's got a hand on it, and he's going to get it back after a couple tips. New 30 here for the Garnet. They work it around. Lack a real true scoring, take it off the dribble option right now. 10 to shoot. Here's Leffler. They go to Thaxter. And he traveled. I think, again, we've said it a couple times, but these guys getting ahead of themselves that time. Looks like he wanted to go for the runner. At the last second decided, hey, maybe a cutting Wilmots is the way to go. And I think just a bit ahead of themselves in general, both teams. Anyone not named Sam Light has yet to hit their stride.
Maybe a little bit of nerves for the Garnet making their first postseason appearance since the mid-90s.
Bug scores. So after 17 straight from Light, Eberhardt and Bug add 2 more apiece. Lammers wide open from 3, no good. Wasn't even that close, and here comes Light. Through the lane, back up top. Mishandled there by Morozic. Eberhardt can't hit this time from the baseline. Rhodes, who got about halfway there and decided to pull up inside the lane. Rhodes instead elects to shoot the 3. Nothing but net from the freshman.
This is a Garnet team that loves to shoot the 3. Might even say they live and die by it. They've gotten a few early.
Now Colin Moore holds. Light is fouled by Shane Leffler. That's his 3rd personal foul in just over 10 minutes of basketball.
Didn't look like there was a lot Leffler could do there with the feet firmly planted. Light just exploded, dragged the leg, and caught Leffler's standing foot.
Only 6 minutes that Leffler has played himself. 3 fouls called. It's a matchup nightmare. Light comes off the floor for what I can only imagine is the briefest of reprieves. Now Colin Moore has it. Comes to the top of the key, Bug. Now the three from the corner is good. Caleb Barlin, the sophomore, scores from three. Cosino gets that look he loves. Can't hit it. It hit the backboard above the basket, and it'll go the other way.
Garnet will definitely look to get Cosino going early. He's a bit of a streaky shooter, but when he is hot and gets going early on in the game, he's unstoppable.
Steven Schaefer, the new point guard into the game. Off for Colin Moore. 18 to shoot for the Dutchman. Schaefer to the bucket. Can't hit it on the floater, way too strong. Full head of steam is Rhodes. Off for Brennan. Great look from the baseline, a bit short. And handled here by Schaefer. Moore nearly traveled. Eberhardt loves that mid-range, instead to the bucket. A hand check on the drive to the basket. 7th team foul against the Garnet of Swarthmore, and now the front end of a one-on-one upcoming for Andrew Eberhardt, the freshman.
Yonda checking in for the Garnet will give him that off-the-dribble option that you mentioned they didn't have earlier.
Eberhardt's good on the first. He earns his second free throw. Eberhardt is good. Quiet 4 points here from Eberhardt, who's only played a few minutes but has been effective in his time on the floor. 7-point deficit. Brennan tries to cut it. No good.
And again, we're seeing this Garnet team firing up a lot of threes when you would think maybe the better option would be to get Walsh involved underneath.
Eberhardt wants to go right at Walsh. Skip pass. Oh, he's blocked. Colin Moore gets rejected by Robbie Walsh. Now Yonda. Baseline and scores on the drive. Great find from Matt Brennan. Saw the spacing of the floor. Lebanon Valley wasn't back defensively.
That's where Yonda makes a living. He can jump out of the gym, get him cutting to the rim, and he'll sky above those defenders.
Mrosik gets by the defense. Got in the air, didn't know what he wanted to do. Rhodes now down the floor. 3-on-2. Takes it himself and is hammered on his way to the bucket. That should go against Colin Moore.
Fearless there from Rhodes going to the rim. Looked a bit inadvisable at first going up at those two defenders, but managed to get the foul.
They're going to give that one to Ricky Bug, Billy.
Looked like it could have been either or, honestly.
7th team foul against Lebanon Valley. First free throw good from Christian Rhodes. 7:41 to play first half. And it's a 4-point deficit for the home Garnet of Swarthmore. This is the quarterfinal round of the ECAC South Tournament. Free throw no good. Walsh with the rebound. He was absolutely clobbered above the basket as he went up for that lay-in, but no foul. Wow, that was obvious to everybody in the gym.
Yeah, cries of outrage coming from the Garnet bench as he was hit hard by Bokenfuso.
Walsh gets the lob, has it taken away, gets it back. Yonda for three. And now Walsh will be called for the foul. Coach Kosmowski thinks he was getting held. Walsh agrees. But they will send the Dutchman to the line.
Looked like Yonda also got blasted by the defender as he landed after taking that three.
Will Back and Fuso will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. Just a 63% free throw shooter. Winner of this one is not done. Season continues for one of these two teams tonight. The winner will play the winner of number 3 seeded Penn State Barron against number 6 Grove City out of Pittsburgh. Swarthmore, the number 2 seed in this tournament. Lebanon Valley, the 7. Here comes the Garnet now after the miss. Trying to cut it to 2 or 1. Brennan behind the screen, short on the 3. And the rebound down to Travis Conrad. Got to come out and guard these guys. Conrad was ready to fire there. Now Schaefer into the lane. Good look to the baseline. One more coming on the foul. Bach and Fuso stayed tough down low, finished through contact.
Bach and Fuso having a really impressive game. Severely undersized in there, but I guess there's a reason they play him at the 5.
A sophomore guard at 6'1". That's what he's listed as, Billy, but everything you see on the floor tells you he's a 4/5. Based on the position he plays, it's something he's needed to do for this team based on the size they lack. And you can talk about lacking size in spades, if you will, tonight without the services of Andy Orr, the sophomore forward at 6'7" and the team's leading scorer.
Yeah, Orr an exceptional scorer, over 20 points a game, but they haven't looked to miss him.
Cosino, top of the key. Lammers off the screen, he will launch. Back iron, no good. Walsh stays with it and gets the rebound. That's just reaching over a 6'1" guy. Lammers, the second shot is no good. Walsh was lucky to not be called for over the top there. And now the Garnet will get it back. That's almost always one you see there, Billy. If you're not going to give the big guy the foul, because he certainly induced that tip out of bounds by going over the top, you at least give the possession back to the defensive rebounding team. That did not happen this time around, and the Garnet fortunate. Yonda can't handle it, it'll stay here. Bug got a hand on it last.
Swarthmore really not looking comfortable here in the first half. Perhaps a little bit of nerves, perhaps just the tenacious D from the Dutchman.
Now here's Christian Rhodes. Cosino near the baseline. Swarthmore not getting into their offense. 12 to shoot. Yonda looking for Lammers. He'll launch again. Well off that time. Lammers just doesn't have it tonight. And Walsh is fouled inside by Schaefer. You've seen the stroke from Lammers before, Billy, especially earlier in the season. Had a shoulder injury that affected him into the second half. Started to feel it as of late, but not his night tonight so far.
Definitely struggling to get into a rhythm, but Walsh bailing him out with dogged work on those offensive boards.
No good on the front end. Cosino with the rebound. He can't finish, and now Henry is called for the foul. And the freshman Cosino had the point-blank range. Maybe had a bit more time than he thought. And now a timeout on the floor. Billy, what's the difference so far here tonight? 29 for Lebanon Valley, 22 for the home Garnet of Swarthmore. A 20-7 team that hasn't seen many struggles like this throughout the year.
Well, you're looking at a lot of shots for the Garnet that just aren't falling, and a lot of times during the season you're seeing them make these corner threes where they get the open look, or these point-blank shots in the lane when they're grabbing offensive rebounds, and they're not falling right now.
Offense sped up a little bit as well. Christian Rhodes, sneaky here, leads the team. 8 points in only 8 minutes played here in the first half. He's added 3 foul shots at the line, 2 of 3 from the field, and has hit a 3 as well. Brennan has 6 as well, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Now Zach Morosic hits the first free throw. That was the 10th foul on the other end for the Garnet, so it is the double bonus the rest of the way. 6 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the first half. And my mistake, actually, Caleb Barwin who hit 2 from the line. Here's Matt Brennan. Rhodes off the screen, nearly thrown away. Walsh has it now with 11 to shoot. A long time for the offense to get developed. See if they get the shot they want. 5 to shoot. Now 3 for Cosino through the lane. Floats. No good. Tipped up and into the hands of number 24, Caleb Barwin. Now Schaefer walks across the timeline. Bach and Fuso, they're in no hurry here. And you feel like the game's running at a little bit of a different pace for this Dutchman team. Baseline 2 is no good, well long. Barely drew iron, now here's Rhodes. The track meet ensues.
Interesting that after a very hot start, we haven't seen Sam Light here.
Great finish from Cosino and a quick timeout called by Brad McAllister, head coach of Lebanon Valley. It was a really good find that time from Yonda. Barely got there to Cosino, but the zip on the pass was all he needed to get it there. 30-second timeout on the floor. 4:59 to play first half. It is a 31-24 lead for Lebanon Valley, the 7 seed in the ECAC South Tournament. The quarterfinals. Winner to play Penn State Behrend or Grove City. The winner of that game going on simultaneously. Back onto the floor, both teams. Lebanon Valley in their road navy blue uniforms with the white stripes. Good ball movement along the baseline. Bach and Fuso. Off to Conrad. No good on the 3. Bug with the head fake, and he threw it away. Nobody there. Would have been a nice look, Billy, for Bug if he wanted to just go up. I think he had more space than he thought.
Looked like he had an open 3 earlier in the possession, too. Looking a little gun-shy here is Ricky Bug.
Robbie Walsh will take a seat for Swarthmore. Into the game comes Sean Thaxter. Sleepy crowd, sleepy night. Bit of a sleepy start here so far for Swarthmore. They trail by 7 here in exam week.
It is a stressful time on campus for Garnet athletes and fans alike.
Brennan to the bucket, high off the glass and scores. The underhanded scoop from the sophomore is good.
Brennan showing some of his versatility there. We're used to seeing him pull up from 3, but he can get to the rim as well.
Schaefer. Ooh, that was nearly a moving screen, and now Brennan's going to be called for the foul. But Bach and Fuso very close to being late getting there if he wasn't late, period. And with the retaliation, it's Brennan called for the foul. Double bonus here for Will, Bach, and Fuso. Bach and Fuso is good from the line. One more coming. Bach and Fuso, 3 of 4 from the line tonight. He has 5 on the night.
And don't look now, Garnet fans, but Sam Light is re-entered for the Dutchman.
They've done a lot of this without him. He's had 2 fouls. Brennan short on the 3. Cosino got the hand on it. Brennan gets it right back. Rhodes trying desperately to get it to Thaxter. Whew, barely got it to Cosino. Back for Brennan. Now with 17, the head fake. Rhodes into the lane, will take it himself, can't finish.
Looked like he wanted to pass to Cosino there. Bach and Fuso stepped in the way with it, and he wasn't quite comfortable going up, was Christian Rhodes.
And now Bach and Fuso is blocked by Henry Cosino. Freshman got the hands in there, kept him straight up, but whisked it away. Here's Light on the catch. Light launches, no good. A rare sight here for Garnet fans and players alike. Rhodes goes 1 on 4, pulls it up. Back to Cosano, ball's taken out of his hands. 2 on 1, Light fumbles with it, but he got fouled as he recovered and went up for the scoop. 2:57 to play first half, 33-26. Lebanon Valley coming in and just playing harder, more aggressive.
Good heads-up play there by the retreating Travis Conrad for the Dutchman, stripping the ball away from the unwitting Henry Cosno.
18 points for Sam Light in 11 minutes of basketball. Spent a lot of time on the bench, as we mentioned before. He has 2 fouls, but his team has more than made the trek in his absence.
And that free throw there took him above his season average already here with time left to go in the first.
Christian Rhodes looks for help. Now they want to go to Walsh. Double team comes every time the Garnet even think about getting the ball inside to Walsh. They've done their homework. Yonda with 9 to shoot. Off for Thaxter. Inside they go to Walsh. 2 to shoot. They got to launch. Doesn't have time. Biological clock not in tune with the shot clock that time. Rhodes did not recognize that it was ticking down.
As you said, the Dutchmen have done their homework, not only doubling Walsh, but taking away that left hand. So much more comfortable going to the left.
Conrad, I thought he wanted that 3. Bacconfuso now from the foul line. It's good. Double-digit deficit here for the Garnet with 2:07 to play in the first half. And they just can't get into their offense at all. Double comes on the bigs. They need to design a play to neutralize the aggressiveness of the defense against the big men. Rhodes off for Yonda. Baseline 3. They needed that one. Need to keep it close here before half.
And those are the looks they're going to need to get, assuming the Dutchmen are going to double every time and guys are going to slide down to help. You're going to get some open threes if you just move the ball fast enough.
Travis Conrad goes baseline. Up top it comes. Barwin. Back for Conrad. The long 3, just a bit short. 1:17 to play. Swarthmore can find themselves right back in this game with a couple buckets and stops in the final minute. Inside to Thaxter, little hot, able to catch the pass. Back to Yonda, he tries again. No good, and Lammers goes over the top. It'll go the other way, and free throws upcoming for number 21, Caleb, or I should say 24, and that's Caleb Barwin, the sophomore.
Barwin yet to miss a free throw this year, but he's only taken 4.
Tell you what, Billy, 100% is 100%. We'll see what we've done here. The old broadcaster's jinx, whether that is a thing or not. I don't know what to tell you, Billy.
I did him in.
Barwin now tries to stay above 80% on the year with this one. He's good. 1 of 2 for Barwin, and the Dutchmen lead by 9.
Second free throw as good as your quick math.
Now an opportunity to go 2 for 1 here. The Garnet may want to move quickly. Although that opportunity eking away quickly as the double team comes, and now they throw it away. Garnet not comfortable offensively. Lebanon Valley with the double teams on the big men are really exploiting some of the weaknesses of this Swarthmore offense.
Yeah, and Walsh has been seeing doubles all year, so it's strange that he'd be so disconcerted now more than ever.
Here comes Schaefer, off for Conrad. Barwin, they swing it back up top. Conrad thought about the step back. Now Conrad from the baseline. Short, and Walsh with the rebound. Swarthmore has the last shot if they want it. Big final possession here, Billy. Opportunity to cut this to 7 or 6. Feels a lot different than almost being down double figures. Rhodes nearly threw it away. It'll go out of bounds with 1.9 seconds to play. Swarthmore's already used 2 timeouts in the half, so very unlikely to take one here. We'll see what the guys on the floor, the 5 of them, have in their bag of tricks. You can get about 2 dribbles and a shot off. 1.9 seconds. Rhodes is going to launch a deep one. It's well short. And that's the end of the first 20 minutes. I don't think Coach Kosmalski is all that thrilled with that final play. But again, a couple timeouts used earlier in the half to try to get the team together. No need or desire to use that one late, and that's the shot you get. 38-29, and Billy, your thoughts on what we've seen this half. Sam Light, 19 points in the first 17 of the game period for this Dutchman team, has controlled things.
Yeah, Light has broken this game over for the Dutchman. And Coach Kosmalski can't be happy with the defense that Garnet are playing, just looking a little bit flat. We saw Boken Fuso pull up from the foul line when he should have been marked. Just a little bit of sloppy defense there. And overall, the Garnet just not looking themselves on either end of the floor. We saw them looking very uncomfortable on offense, perhaps missing the senior leadership of Leffler, the calming influence as he picked up 3 early fouls.
Leading scorers for the Garnet, Matt Brennan and Christian Rhodes, they both have 8. Robbie Walsh only has 4. Cosino with 4. Zach Yonda has a quick 5 points. And I think Yonda's a guy that's going to need to step up in the second half, really go hunt his own shot, because this defense has been very difficult to break for Lebanon Valley. Bakken Fuso has 7. Bug has 2. Barwin with 6 for the Dutchman. And then Eberhardt with a quick 4 off the bench in 3 minutes of play. We'll take a break, come back for the second half, and you're watching Swarthmore men's basketball in the ECAC tournament, the quarterfinals here on the Garnet Sports Network.
Together, we are driven. 1, 2, 3. To motivate, to challenge, to lead. Every practice, every play, every day, every season. 11 schools together in competition. We are the Centennial Conference.
My name is Amy Vashel, class of 2011. Honestly, this is nothing that I ever would have dreamed to have gone through. It turned out to be like both the biggest blessing and the biggest challenge of my life so far. And the byproducts are pretty huge, you know, just that I've learned so much about myself and about music, and it really set me up to, you know, to pursue, you know, singing and songwriting full time. So I'm so grateful for that. I always loved singing, but I hit a moment in my adolescent years where I became too shy to sing in public. And actually it was here at Swarthmore that I decided to take a chance and try out for mixed company. And I didn't make it. But then my friend invited me to try out for Grapevine. That was the first time that I started really singing for an audience. And my dad taught me how to play guitar. He taught me my first 3 chords. So he really taught me, even though I taught myself everything else after that.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said.
So the voice is interesting. They have kind of like a dual process that goes on. Of course, they have an open call, and they also have a number of like private editions. So I got contacted on my birthday because someone came across a YouTube video that I forgot I'd put up, and they asked me to audition in New York, and you know, I needed someone like my brother to tell me why not, because I secretly really wanted to do it, but I just never considered myself the kind of person or the kind of artist to be on a show like this. So I kind of went into it blind, and the audition process is very long and involved, and it took the better part of my entire 26th year. So there was one where it was just me in front of a couple execs, and then it was me in front of all the producers, and then it was, you know, a lot of rehearsing and meeting with vocal coaches and etc., interviews, and then the blind audition, and there are so many different pieces to the whole thing. There's really no way to describe the emotions, because first of all, it doesn't just involve you. Like, they fly out your family and they're waiting in another room and they're watching it on a TV screen. You don't know when you get to audition. You don't know if you're going to get to, because the teams might fill up. There's so many factors that just can lead you to just spiral out and just become totally anxiety ridden. You know, it's just behind the stage, it's dark. You can't see anything, but there are 1,000 people. And you're going to hair and makeup, and then second touches, and then you know, the guy is giving you your guitar. And then what happened to me that day was that they told me last minute that my guitar was broken and I had to use theirs. And I'm like, are you kidding? And it was a bigger guitar than I was used to. So I'm like, how am I supposed to see what I'm playing? Like, I was like, okay. So I'm sitting in the hair, you know, touch-up seat, and I was like, I was about to freak out. My hairstylist was like, you know what? I believe that everything happens for a reason, so just go with it. And I was like, okay. And I just got to this point where I was like, this is absolutely nuts. There are like hundreds of people in the audience. The backs, like chairs that I was gonna sing in front of. And then I decided I was just going to pray. I just didn't stop praying. And I was just like, God, this opportunity is nuts, but I know it came from you. And I just started just praying. And I just like, and before you get onto that stage, they warn you that there's no one who's gonna be like, okay, now it's your turn. What happens is that the doors literally make no noise, silence. And then you're supposed to just walk as soon as these silent opening doors lead you to the stage. No, I couldn't hear myself. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And then if I embarrass myself on national television, then, you know, well, then I will. I had grown to accept that. It's so surreal being back. Swarthmore is such a special place. You know, besides being one of the most beautiful places on the planet, I think back to my 4 years at Swarthmore, and I realized that the magic of it had to do with the people that I've grown so close to, and I'm still in touch with many friends today. And you know, it's always about the people, but the faculty, the student body, there's a special spirit here. It's like weird and like intellectual and just something all its own. And I'm just so proud to be a SWAT alum. I was a little nervous because it was the It was my first time playing a show at all, like having a performance since The Voice ended, and there's that, and it was only just me and the guitar, so it was a solo performance, and I was a little worried that it wasn't going to suit the event and the room, and I was a little nervous about that, especially after sound check, and then I got up there and I was just so blown away by all the love in the room. I seriously wanted to cry right in that moment. There's something about coming back to a place that's shaped you so much, and to get that kind of response, it just blesses me like you can't believe. I mean, I associate most of my time at Swarthmore with being a college athlete. I was so happy to be able to play both soccer and lacrosse here. Yeah, I mean, those are some of the most special times of my life. You know, it's funny because I just went through a very unique process that actually, you know, beckoned me to recall the things that I learned, you know, being on those teams, and just keep setting goals and to keep, you know, dreaming and keep believing and keep working hard and planning. And, you know, they may seem like very basic things, but there's something about being on a team and really, you know, working on those things day in and day out throughout an entire season and season upon season, that really just embeds it into who you are. And I definitely took a lot of those lessons with me through that show, and especially now where I kind of have to chart out my own path in a new way. My advice for someone following their dreams is to really get to the heart of what your intention is. I found that as long as you have that, the opportunities will open up. But I think we all have things in our hearts that are unique to us, and even if they seem crazy to, you know, your neighbor, you know, sometimes they should, because that's why you're so unique. It's like, it may not make sense for them, but you know in your heart that you know it's planted there for a reason. So I would say just, you know, discover what that is and find out why you want to do it. I'm playing at the Tin Angel in Philly on the 21st, which I think is in a couple weeks. So that's my next show. And then I'm going to play in LA, if anyone's in LA, at the end of the month. And then Chicago, and then Boston. So all around the place, all around the country, which is crazy.
Welcome back to Tarble Pavilion on the campus of Swarthmore College. It's time for the second half in the quarterfinals of the ECAC South Tournament. As Swarthmore hosts Lebanon Valley, but they trail 38-29. Bob Long, Billy Evers alongside, and the winner of this game to play the winner of Penn State Behrend and Grove City, who play right now. Opportunity to host the next round for Swarthmore if they were able to come up with a victory and have a loss by the top-seeded DeSale basketball team. DeSale's hosting Juniata today and trailing by 10 currently. Cosino can't hit the three. Of course, a lot of work to be done here first, Billy, trailing by 9 and yet to get the offensive flow going this evening. Bug inside, high floater, won't go. Tipped up and Brennan comes down with it. Rhodes has 8 points. He's come in and done yeoman's work after the 3 fouls to number 22 and senior Shane Leffler. Cosino to the bucket, cannot finish. Got where he wanted to go with one dribble but couldn't finish.
Yeah, concerning to see Cosino miss a lot of these shots here. We saw him at his worst here at the Pavilion earlier in the year against Hopkins. When he's hot, but when he's cold, very cold.
Now able to keep the play alive, Lebanon Valley. Good look from the baseline, well short though. Trying to save it in bounds, but Bacanfuso could not do so. It'll go back to the Garnet of Swarthmore. An ugly 79 seconds of basketball here in the second half.
Didn't hurt them there, but lazy little grab from Cosino. Bacanfuso working harder, slapping that away, and luckily for the Garnet, ball just trickled out of bounds.
Christian Rhodes spins, gets inside the 3. Kaufman into the game. Haven't seen much of Kaufman in the second half of the season. Trying to switch things up and get some energy. Rhodes for 3. It's good.
Big responsibility being thrust on the freshman Christian Rhodes here, and he's rising to the challenge.
A lot of this, certainly championships still to be won this season, but a lot of this makes you think about next year. A lot of guys fighting for spots and wanting to be part of the rotation even next year. Final chances here in the final few weeks of the season to impress. Robbie Walsh is impressed all year, got the board. Rhodes off for Kaufman, head fake, and it's slammed out of bounds. Kaufman had to go straight up, Billy. Did not have time to head fake. Kind of head fake to nobody. Only allowed time for the shot blocker to come.
A little bit of a chuckle on the face of the blocker there, Bacanfuso. He knows that was a ferocious rejection.
Walsh inside, can't hit at point blank range. Tipped up and out of bounds off the foot of Jim Lammers, and back it goes to the Dutchman.
Walsh showing his strength on the back down, sending Kyler Burke flying.
Sam Light, 19 points in the first half. Off for Ricky Bug. Bug gets to the baseline, and a hand check is called against Andrew Kaufman. Stuck both arms out there, and a very easy call for the referee who was right there.
And that is the scouting report on Kaufman. He's quick to foul, has trouble keeping himself from getting into trouble with that.
Now overplaying was Lammers. Skip pass inside now to Conrad. Back for Bacanfuso. Throws it up wildly. That is a very, very tough call against Robbie Walsh. Landry Kosmowski not going to be happy with that. Robbie Walsh not thrilled either. Was straight up and just kind of threw himself into him, Bacanfuso.
Sorry, Bob. I was just going to say the whistle came late as well, only adding to the frustration for Walsh.
No, you're absolutely right, Billy. Bacanfuso was good on the first. Second is no good. Lammers gets a good board. Hounded in the backcourt by Ricky Bug, and now it's Rhodes across the timeline. Rhodes to the bucket and finishes. Robbie Walsh with the seal. Light just inside the three-point line, back iron. So no good to start proceedings here for Light in the second half.
Heat check for the sophomore point guard.
Brennan off the screen for three. It's good. The sophomore Brennan is good, and a timeout. Brad McAllister and the Lebanon Valley Dutchmen want to stop this momentum, but just like that, a 2-point deficit for the Garnet. They've come back from trailing 38-29 going into the half.
Big time shot from Matty Ice there. And even in the first few minutes, we're starting to see the Garnet look much more comfortable, working through their offense, getting the looks that they want. And that'll open things up underneath for Robbie Walsh, who can really go to work.
Way too early to be looking at the scoreboard because the scoreboard here isn't the way Swarthmore wants it to be yet. But Juniata, the 8th seed in this ECAC tournament in this region, they lead DeSales 34-26. And now 36-26 with under a minute to go in the first 20 minutes of play. With a win by Juniata and a win by Swarthmore, the semifinals and finals will be right here in Tarbell Pavilion.
We've got a great game here, a potential upset brewing there, and that's the beauty of ECACs. You get a ton of teams coming in from all different conferences. You never know really how one squad is going to stack up against another, and it makes for some absolute thrillers.
Back to action here. Lebanon Valley, they lead by 2, but they've seen their lead cut from 9. An 8-1 run to start things here in the second half. Sam Light off for Bug. Eberhardt gets it back from Bug. A little short, Kaufman gets the board.
Garnet crowd starting to wake up and get into things here.
Rhodes has a chance to tie or take the lead. Leffler couldn't get the shot up. Kaufman on the roll to the bucket. He was hammered, no foul call. Walsh is fouled, and he'll go to the line, and a net win for the Garnet there because I think Kaufman definitely fouled. Wasn't called, but you'll take the 80% free throw shooter Robbie Walsh at the line. Free throw good from Robbie Walsh. One more to tie here for the sophomore. A bit short. Lammer's got a hand on it, but Eberhardt has it. This is how close they got, albeit a much larger comeback, and Walsh gets a huge block, but a much larger comeback against Franklin and Marshall. They got to down just 1. Can they get over the hump here?
Walsh showing why he's top 3 in the conference in blocks there. Not hard to imagine why with the massive wingspan.
Kaufman gets it at the elbow. Off for Lammers. Inside to Walsh, gets to the block and finishes. Swarthmore leads 40-39.
Walsh finally getting the 1v1 he wanted against Buck and Fuso with no help and took him right to the hole.
Now we'll see the answer from Lebanon Valley. This one's thrown away. Rhodes looking to pick up the pace, nearly lost the ball, and he's fouled. Kind of disappointing there for Ricky Bug, unfortunate. Rhodes lost the basketball, so he went for the steal, and Rhodes just got back to it about a half second early. A foul on Bug and a timeout called on the floor. A 30-second timeout for Lebanon Valley.
Definitely fortunate for Rhodes there. Didn't look like he quite knew what he wanted to do, if he wanted to push the pace or slow it down.
Halftime score in Allentown. Juniata 36, DeSales 29. And a good one here, 40-39, the lead for the Swarthmore Garnet on an 11-1 run to start the second half. Brennan to inbound, 15-17 to play, second half. 1 point lead for the Garnet. Brennan off the screen, back for Leffler. Now Brennan, two-man basketball, takes the shot from the elbow, it won't go. Eberhard has the board for the Dutchman. Now Light. It's stolen by Brennan, tip from Lammers. Up ahead is Wilmot, and he finishes at the bucket.
Crowd went wild there, I think, expecting one of Wilmot's signature throwdowns. They'll be happy with the layup, though.
3 point lead for Swarthmore. Eberhard catches, head fakes. Up top for Light, 13 to shoot, nearly lost the ball. Conrad. Bacanfuso. Counted in one. The body control from Bacanfuso, and the sophomore gets one more at the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
Second time today we've seen Bacanfuso go up against a bigger defender, take serious contact, and still have the peace of mind to finish.
Will Bacanfuso for the tie, and he's got it. 42 apiece. 14-17 to play, second half. Leffler across the timeline. He's been saddled by foul trouble this afternoon. Wilmots has it now, right wing. Brennan off the screen for three. Bang! Yonda was close to a moving screen there, but provided all the time Brennan needed to knock it down. Light nearly turns it over. And now garbage to gold. Eberhard at the bucket off the find.
Wilmot's almost undercutting him there. That could have been a needless foul.
Brennan won it again. Light is out there, and now he throws it away. Bacanfuso goes right into Brennan. A blocking foul. And I think Brennan got it underneath the chin, too. Brennan sliding just the least bit. The referee had a good angle. We did as well. And a very nice job to make that call from the referee. Again, it's a tough, it's a thankless at times game, Billy, to go down and try to take a train through you right there like that. But even the little bit of a movement and slide like we saw from Brennan will lead to a blocking foul, and that's exactly what the call was. .45 apiece. Bacanfuso is good on the second, and it's a 1 point deficit now for the Garnet. Light's getting close to fouling there a couple of times, undercutting Rhodes a bit. Now back cut from Leffler, off for Cosino. Cosino drives, got the ball tipped away, and here comes Lebanon Valley. The three from Light. Step up and drill it. What do you say, Sam Light?
He has been giving Leffler fits all day with that athletic jab step and the smooth stroke from three.
Walsh down low. Loses the ball, goes up, is blocked. Eberhard gets it back and is fouled this time. Relentless inside from the sophomore.
And the double came, but it came late, and that was all Walsh needed to establish himself.
Billy, a score update from Penn State Barrand. The winner of this game will play the winner of Penn State Barrand and Grove City. We'll say, Nittany Lions. Are they still called the Nittany Lions? Commonwealth Campus? We'll go with it. But Penn State Barrand leads 57-37. 49-47. Lebanon Valley, they lead by 2. Here's the 3. Leffler has Yonda up floor, finds him to the bucket, body control, and 2. Now Light through the lane, and he's fouled by Robbie Walsh. That's Walsh's 3rd. That's the team's 5th.
Light at times looks like a runaway train coming through that lane, but always seems to be just angling his body in the right way to get a foul, if nothing else.
Sam Light is good on the first. Brennan and Rubayo into the game. First time we've seen Michael Rubayo this evening. Walsh and Leffler will take a seat.
Rubayo, a second 6'8" option for the Garnet, so he's instantly the tallest man on the court now.
Light is good on both, 5 of 6 from the line, 24 points on the evening to lead all scorers. Now Cosino has it at the elbow. 19 to shoot, Brennan. Cosino. Brennan with the head fake. Rubayo lines it up, no good. Cosino got the board, and the foul will be called against Zach Yonda on the rebound. Billy, I think Lebanon Valley very comfortable with giving that shot to Michael Rubayo, and I'm not sure that Landry Kosmalski wanted that shot to be taken.
Yeah, well, it's hard to pass up a look that open from only about 12 feet, but you're definitely right. Rubayo much more dangerous around the rim where he can use his height and his strength.
51-49, a 2-point lead here for Lebanon Valley. They've led for the majority of the game. A good run here from Swarthmore in the second half has gotten them back into it. Cosino with the steal. 4 on 2, slows it up and nearly loses it. Inside they go to Rubayo. Spins to his left and he can't finish. He went over the left shoulder with the right hand. 2 free throws coming for Rubayo.
And there's the danger we were mentioning. They're going to want to keep him out of the lane because he is a force in there.
Rubayo no good. Now 9 of 13 on the year from the line. Lammers quickly gets to the scorer's table, checks into the game for Zach Yonda. Rubayo to split the deficit, does just that. 51-50, Lebanon Valley leads. Sam Light gets to the bucket, up and under, and it's good. Sam Light with 26 points, just about half of the total here on the evening.
And a ridiculously athletic finish there, going up and through Rubayo.
Head fake for Lammers. Rubayo with 12 to shoot. Off for Lammers, the 3, bang!
And
Jimmy Lammers.
That one just looked good the whole way. You could tell as soon as it left his hand, that was destined for the bottom.
The fist pump on the way back. You know that one felt good for Lammers. Light to answer. That one wasn't close. Rubayo with a strong board.
Ridiculous fadeaway effort from Light, perhaps trying to do just a bit too much for the Dutchman here.
Lammers, he'll try again. No good on that one. Now 1 of 6 from 3 today. All square, 55 apiece. Baconfuso gets to the lane, might have traveled on his way there, no call. Lammers got the board.
Good disciplined defense from Rubayo.
Now Swarthmore's going to slow this one up offensively. Maybe not. Christian Rhodes proves me wrong and knocks it down from the top of the key.
Splash, they gave him just a couple inches.
56-53. 3 comes from Moore, can't answer. Might have been a push from behind. Brennan comes down with the board, and now a jump ball is called. How about the effort? Kyler Burke, the senior. He had no business getting that basketball, Billy, but he stayed in there and got the alternating possession. It'll stay here, but wow.
He tossed 2 Swarthmore defenders and then wrestled Brennan for it.
So Lebanon Valley, the beneficiary of that effort. From number 12, Kyler Burke. And Light is good from the baseline. Long 2 for Light. They trail by 1. Leffler, great drive to the bucket.
Immediately answering for what might have been some lazy defense on the other end. Got to keep those hands up when Light has the ball.
And Leffler shows a bit of versatility there. They nearly get a steal on the other end. Baconfuso no good. And Rubayu knocked it out of bounds. Just didn't grab it cleanly. It'll stay here. But let's go back, Billy, to that Leffler drive. He's a guy that wasn't shooting fantastically from beyond the three-point range earlier in the year. He's been great the last 2 weeks. Lebanon Valley clearly doing their homework, so just one head fake, and he got by. It was a great job of recognition from the senior. And now Rhodes got the hand on it. It'll stay here, but inbound from the sideline upcoming.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Leffler pulling out all the tricks in the arsenal. He's a huge team guy, lives for Garnet basketball. As a senior, he knows this could be it, and he's not going to go down without a fight.
9 minutes to play. Light tries to tie, no good. Stays in bounds. Coming up with it again is Burke. Moore. Off for Baconfuso. Here's Ricky Bug, back to Baconfuso. Like that look. And now an offensive foul is called. Baconfuso ran right into the defender. Jim Lammers coming up a bit uneasy, we'll say, but now he gets into a jog on his way down the floor. Feels a little better when you get drilled if it's going the other way.
Yeah, I'm not sure who would have come up easy after that one. That was a big hit from Baconfuso.
8 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Swarthmore's come all the way back here in the second half. Robbie Walsh has it, double team comes. Stays on his pivot foot somehow. Henry Cosino could have been called for the moving screen there. Leffler has the three, and he gets fouled. Sam Light slams the floor with his right hand on the way by after getting tabbed as the culprit there. Shane Leffler has 3 upcoming at the charity stripe.
And the battle between Leffler and Light is emerging into something fascinating to watch. 2 guys playing with a ton of emotion right now.
Leffler good on the first, an 81% free throw shooter. One of the better free throw shooting teams in all of the Centennial Conference. Leffler's good on the second. Another score update. Penn State Barron, they lead 61-43 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the second and final half. Leffler's good on the third, hits all 3. And a quick run here, down to just 5. The lead for Juniata. In the other quarterfinal we have our eyes on here, Juniata against number 1 DeSales. Ricky Bug, cross-court pass, Brennan gets the hands in the lane. Behind the back he goes, to the bucket, floater no good. Tipped up, Bug has it. No numbers, goes right out to the fence, runs over Shane Leffler, you guessed it. An offensive foul, and back the other way it goes. The senior does it all, Billy, and now a timeout called by Lebanon Valley and Brad McAllister, but Ricky Bug out of control, Billy, and Leffler says, just hold on, hold your breath, I'm going down.
And Leffler doing all the right things even when his shot isn't falling. Getting to the rim when it's there, making the gritty plays underneath, getting that foul there. He's bought in.
Full timeout here on the floor. 7 minutes, 47 seconds to go from Tarble Pavilion. Swarthmore leads 61-55. Bob Long and Billy Evers here, and we'll be right back. This is Swarthmore men's basketball on the Garnet Sports Network. Bob Long and Billy Evers here to bring you the coverage. Quarterfinal round of the ECAC South Tournament. Swarthmore has come back in a big way here in the second half, and they lead by 6 after trailing by 9 at the break. Brennan off the screen for 3. No good. Cosino with the board. Content to pull it back out. Cosino, head fake, off for Brennan. Brennan now goes baseline all the way to the bucket. The Red Sea opened along the baseline, and Brennan took it.
All the Lebanon Valley defenders there sliding to take away the pass they thought was coming. Brennan said, "Thank you very much."
Bug was hammered. No foul call. I cannot believe it. I don't think McAllister's too thrilled either, the head coach.
Looked like it certainly should have been a 4th on Walsh.
Lammers now. 16 to shoot for Walsh. Inside to Walsh. Ball taken away. It still will stay here, though. Went off Bug last, and Walsh with a wave of the hand toward the referee. I think he thought there was a foul coming. Maybe in some ways should count the blessings that he is still in the game right now after not being called on the other end.
Walsh encountering a different type of defender here in Bach and Fuso. Obviously, usually going up against guys his own size. This is a smaller man, much lower to the ground, can strip that ball away much quicker when Walsh puts it on the floor.
And Bach and Fuso is called for the foul. It's exactly what you're talking about, Billy. A different type of guy, low center of gravity, backed right up into Walsh and is called for the foul on the rebound. Eighth team foul against Lebanon Valley. Robbie Walsh goes to the line to shoot 1 and 1. Walsh enters the game at just under 80% at 76 and change. Hits the first. Second free throw good for Walsh. 36-17 here in the second half. Swarthmore owning things. 6:24 to play. Cosino probably got a hand on him there, no call. Now Schaefer to the baseline, floater, and it'll go.
Walsh can't believe he missed that block, ended up slapping nothing but backboard.
Rhodes fortunate to get the ball back, and then Schaefer comes up with it again after it came free. Leaving off, Bug is blocked. Walsh got the hand on it. Matt Brennan now up the floor. Swarthmore's got to slow this down. No reason to run at this pace right now. Slow the basketball up, restart the offense. That's what they will do. They lead by 8. Cosino, 3, no good. Brennan with the long rebound. Double team. Now triple comes on Walsh, and Bach and Fuso again called for the foul. The 9th team foul against Lebanon Valley. 4th called against Bach and Fuso. So a team with limited depth to begin with, Billy. Now we'll have to do it either with a 4th foul Bach and Fuso on, or as it appears, number 42, Andrew Eberhardt, on in his place.
Eberhardt more of the guy that Walsh would conventionally see as his opposite number, but
Walsh is good on the front end, earns his second. And Billy, on the other side here for Lebanon Valley, not getting as much going offensively, you figure Sam Light in that case has to be a little bit colder, but no, he has 9 points here in the second half as Walsh hits the second and a timeout called on the floor. He still has 9 points. It's just kind of been quieter, more deceptive. When you come out and score the first 17 in the first half, it's tough to be deceptive or quiet with that, but a lot quieter on the second half from Light.
Yeah, well, he's been scoring efficiently, but he hasn't been able to dribble past defenders as much as he did in the first half, so he's not getting able to drive and dish and open up those looks for other guys because Brennan Leffler playing tougher defense on him here. So he's still getting his points, but not opening looks for his teammates the way he was in the first half.
5:39 to play, 10-point lead for the Garnet. We'll take a momentary break and come back. You're watching Swarthmore Garnet basketball on the Garnet Sports Network. Back to action here at Tarbell Pavilion, and you're watching Swarthmore Garnet men's basketball and the ECAC South Tournament on the Garnet Sports Network. Now Light goes behind his back, right back to action quickly. Bug for three, no good, a bit short.
Even though it didn't fall for Bug, that's the type of play I was talking about earlier, is not scoring so much for Light, but getting to the rim hard, dribbling past people and opening up looks for his teammates as other Garnet players need to come help.
Robbie Walsh got blocked at the rim. Here comes Light. No one rebounding. Doesn't matter. Launches. And Leffler gets the long board. In no hurry here, Landry Kosmalski barks out to calm things down offensively. I don't blame him. Rhodes jump stops, triple team, able to get it off to Lammers. 11 to shoot for the senior Leffler, and he's fouled by number 34, Schaefer. That's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Swarthmore. Over 20 seconds going on the shot clock, and now an opportunity to shoot free throws and add to this lead. Things all but finished at Penn State Barron, 69 to 50. Nittany Lions lead, 40 seconds to go. Leffler no good on the first free throw. Second upcoming. Garnet in the double bonus. No good on the second. Walsh with the rebound, finishes and one. Right hand collapsed behind in the arms of the defender, Eberhardt, but all in one motion, catches it with the left, flips it up off the glass, and one more coming for Walsh.
Walsh showing that his grip is just as large as his wingspan, cradling the ball with one hand as it fell there and delicately placing it off the boards and in.
Walsh completes the three-point play. Bails out Leffler, who missed two. And now Swarthmore leads by 13 at home. A big-time answer here in the second half. Schaefer to the left, the floater. I think a piece of it that time from Robbie, don't you?
Either a piece or just an ugly shot from Schaefer.
Now Leffler. Light wants to speed him up. Leffler doesn't bite. Cosino, here comes the double, goes baseline. It'll get to Leffler somehow. The three is good.
The chest pass from Walsh finds its way to Leffler.
The senior knocks it down, and it's a 16-point lead to the delight of the Swarthmore Garnet faithful, making their way out in a big-time exam week midterm session. The people that have made their way here have really been treated in the second half, and they find themselves just 4 minutes away from moving on to the semifinals of the ECAC South Tournament. And potentially, Billy, an opportunity to host 46-41, Juniata, the upstart 8 seed, leading DeSales with 11 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the second half. You are watching Swarthmore men's basketball on the Garnet Sports Network, and we'll be right back after our minute break. We've gone final at Barron, 69-50. Penn State moves on to the next round of the ECAC South Tournament. Lebanon Valley ball to start things here, and they need to get moving quickly. Schaefer thought about the 3, now Conrad. Skip pass, Schaefer, baseline, no good. Walsh gets the board. Takes his time, very composed there, able to get it off to Lammers. Let the traffic subside. And now a 10-second violation. Christian Rhodes. That's the second time for Rhodes. He really hasn't had that clock going in his head. Walsh had that ball for a good 2-3 seconds, and I don't think Rhodes calculated that in his mind. Freshman mistake there from Rhodes. Moore to the bucket. Floater. Won't get it to go. Lammers with the board. Went right over the top with the tomahawk and came down with it with the right hand. They leave off Cosino, so he drills it. Why not for the freshman?
Never a good idea to leave Henry Cosino alone.
And Lebanon Valley at this point just breaking down defensively. Not getting great offensive possessions either. Conrad goes baseline. Now Bacanfuso picks up his dribble in a tough spot. Skip pass, extra to Schaefer. Baseline try. Again, no good. Tipped up by Conrad, and again, neither goes. Bacanfuso rips it away and can't get it to go. Lammers with the foul.
Looked like a frustration foul there a bit from Lammers. He swatted hard at that ball.
And Billy, that's what you always say as a big guy. It's 6'8" for Walsh. Don't bring it down. There's no one on the floor for Lebanon Valley that can reach up and get that ball from you, but he brought it down right where Bacanfuso could get it, and he ripped it away.
Particularly with Eberhard on the bench and Bacanfuso in. He needs to keep that up above his head.
Bacanfuso can't hit the first. Second upcoming. Christian Rhodes checks into the game for Jim Lammers. Will Bacanfuso can't hit the second either. It'll go out of bounds though. Cosino had trouble corralling it. Thought he was tied up with the left hand, but it'll stay here with Lebanon Valley and the Dutchman. Light lines up the 3, well short. Walsh and Leffler. Brendan's going to pull it back. That's a good job by the sophomore. A sophomore turned senior for as many minutes as he's played as the true point guard of this team. Has really done a nice job all year, Matt Brennan. 11 to shoot for Henry Cosino. Walsh has it. Double team never comes. And so he finishes easily at the bucket. A big fist pump on the way down the floor for Walsh.
Burke showed him the left hand there. Maybe not doing his homework on Walsh. He loves that left hand in and around the rim.
Conrad launches and hits from 3. 78-60. 2 minutes exactly to play. Open 3. Brennan's good. And a timeout for Landry Kozmalski. This will be only to get the subs in, as out comes Walsh, Cosino, Leffler, and Walsh. Into the game comes Christian Rhodes, Jim Lammers, Brandon Patton, Michael Rabayo, and Andrew Kaufman.
And in all likelihood, that will be the dagger for the Garnet. Another big-time three from Matt Brennan.
Now more hands off. Chris Anderson is fouled on the dribble drive. 1-and-1 upcoming for number 21, Chris Anderson, a freshman guard out of Havertown, Pennsylvania, played at local Malvern Prep High School. Tell you what, he barely needed a new jersey. Malvern Prep with the navy blue and the white as well. Missed the front end, though. Patton off the screen. Now Lammers. You can tell this crowd wants to get Patton a shot. He might just get that. Oh, he gave it up. 5 to shoot. Rhodes in the lane. Puts it up. It won't go. And the rebound down to number 12, Kyler Burke. Now here's Anderson. Anderson gets through the lane. Off for Gilbert. No good from Brett Gilbert. And the rebound down to Christian Rhodes. Final minute of play. Billy, what a second half for this Swarthmore Garnet team.
Yeah, they've been doing everything right. We've seen them settle into the rhythm that has won them so many games so far. And as we mentioned, a very deep team. Got to think that maybe getting those guys in off the bench, getting fresh legs in against the Lebanon team that really forces their starters to play a lot of minutes probably helped the Garnet here.
Rhodes a long three, no good. And a timeout is called just to get the subs in one more time. This time for Lebanon Valley, it's number 14, RJ Cupshow. Swarthmore has hit the half-century mark here in the second half, 52 points. Cupshow, no good. And Christian Rhodes will dribble across the timeline. Swarthmore wins 81-60 as Rhodes dribbles it out. They win the quarterfinal round of the ECAC South tournament. And they move on to play Penn State Barronge. Where? That is the question. Juniata still in battle with number 1 seed DeSales. But Billy, all about turning things around here in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of players turned things around. We saw Walsh really being more aware of that double and being able to turn a lot more. We saw Brennan started finding in range on that three, and we saw Leffler having much more success guarding Sam Light from Lebanon Valley and keeping him in check, and therefore the entire Dutchman team.
Swarthmore spread around the scoring tonight. Matt Brennan led the team with 19. Robbie Walsh right behind with 18. And he had 15 rebounds. A huge day for the big man, locking up the double-double. 16 points for Christian Rhodes, 8 for Shane Leffler, 7 for Zach Yonda. Jim Lammers added 3 off the bench. Rabayu had 1. Cosino was 7. Wilmots added 2. For Lebanon Valley, really the story was Light. Sam Light with 28 points. Bakenfuso had 13. Bug had 2. Conrad with 3. Barwin with 6. Schaefer with 2. And Eberhardt added 6 as well. As a team, Swarthmore shot 39.1% from the field. They were 12 of 32 from 3 and 15 of 21 from the line. They out-rebounded Lebanon Valley by 16 rebounds, 52-36. That's very impressive. And frankly, Billy, it's a lot of rebounds, period. It's a lot of missed shots.
That's a ton of rebounds off the top, a lot of missed shots. We see the Garnet out-rebounding almost every team they play, but particularly tonight with Walsh towering over the two men who were responsible for guarding him.
Lebanon Valley, 18 of 62 from the field, 29%, 7 of 25 from 3, 17 of 24 from the free throw line, and they had 16 offensive boards. But again, a big win here for Swarthmore. Our final score check-in. Juniata leads 54-48, 7 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the second half. And if Juniata were to win that game, Swarthmore, by locking up this victory, would host the semifinals and finals of the ECAC South Tournament on Saturday and Sunday. So, Billy, still to be determined whether I'll see you again here on Saturday, but it's been a pleasure, a great job, and for my color commentator, Billy Evers, I'm Bob Long saying so long from Tarbell Pavilion. Swarthmore wins 81-60.